This is Dune 2, a game I played for the first time a few years ago. The result was an exercise in frustration, because the mechanics of this grandfather of the RTS genre just don't hold up. A lack of auto-scrolling, no multiple unit selection and no unit queuing makes it very difficult for RTS fans to go back to. Fortunately, multiple source ports and remakes of the game have been attempted throughout the years since its release, and I tried a good chunk of them to see if they had fixed the problem. The two most promising candidates were Dune Dynasty and Dune Legacy. Dune Dynasty was the more faithful of the two, based on the earlier Open Dune project and essentially playing like the original Dune but with a few quality of life updates. That should have been perfect for any RTS player, right? Dune Legacy, on the other hand, was a heavily revamped and modernised version of Dune, introducing the command and conquer style combat that Westwood would implement in their next RTS, as well as many stylistic alterations. So the game had at least two great source ports. What's the problem? And why am I talking in the past tense about them? Well, Dune Dynasty hasn't been updated in 7 years, and when I last played it the AI curb stomped me. Likewise, Dune Legacy had last been updated in 2016, and it also annihilated me. Both projects had meticulously improved and updated the game, but in doing so they'd also changed the AI beyond recognition. This is commonplace in fan projects where the baseline of competitive challenge is much higher, because it's assumed that the only people playing it have already invested hundreds of hours into the original. Unfortunately, this has the knock-on effect of making the game impenetrable to newcomers, who might have been interested in the roots of the genre. There was a massive discussion thread complaining about exactly that on the Legacy forums. And after years of waiting, it looks like someone finally listened to the outcry. A gentleman and scholar going by the name of Stefan released a new alpha build of Dune Legacy with a new AI called Campaign AI. They claim that it's an easier AI for people who want to play the game like they remember it, which was exactly what was missing from the original releases. He does warn people that it's not exactly the same due to it fighting too early instead of waiting, but is quite easy to play against for newcomers who don't want an entrenched death match against a malicious AI. I tested out the 0.95 Alpha 4, released on the 5th of May, and while there aren't too many drastic changes, with the new AI it was a far smoother experience than my attempts to play the source port years ago. So in conclusion, if you want to play Dune 2 and see what all the fuss was about, but you don't want to tackle an interface that feels like pulling teeth instead of playing a game, give the latest alpha of Dune Legacy a shot.